The body of a puppy is being studied by scientists, but this is not your typical animal. The young pup has been frozen in the Siberian permafrost for 14,300 years. The researchers carefully remove cartilage, liver, and muscle tissue samples from the pup. In addition, following the laboratory analysis of the samples, they make a groundbreaking discovery that may have significant repercussions for science. A genetic breakthrough was made by experts investigating the frozen remains of a Siberian puppy that were 14,000 years old. But is this young dog a wild wolf, a domesticated animal that a human once owned, or maybe a cross between the two? Researchers discovered animal bones with the telltale signs of butchering, as well as fire traces at the location where the puppy was found. Although it is impossible to be sure, as a result, it's possible that the young animal was kept as a pet or used for work. In 2015, the puppy's remains were discovered on a sheer bank of the Psylocke River, about 25 miles from the Siberian village of Tumut in Yakutia's Jana region, also known as the Sakha Republic. The young animal has also acquired the moniker, the tumut puppy, thanks to the village. Because of a 2011 discovery, scientists were digging along the steep river bank when they discovered this young dog. In the same year, they found another puppy. They had hoped to find human activity, which they did, but they were also lucky to find the second puppy, which may have been a sibling of the first one. The expedition leader and head of exhibitions at the Yakutia Mammoth Museum, Sergei Fedorov, told the Siberian Times in 2015 that the discovery of the second puppy led the researchers to believe that the two dogs may have died simultaneously in a mudslide. He stated that they discovered the young dog's body after only an hour of digging, and that it had actually been luck. As a result, it turns out that there are two mid-puppies as opposed to one. However, before we go into greater detail about the second one discovered in 2015, let's go back to 2011 and learn about the first one. The earlier find was made by two men, villager by villager, almost exactly where the 2015 discovery would be made. Brothers Igor and Yuri Gorshkov and their Paliel Tomsky were the two mid-villagers who discovered the first puppy. They were actually looking for mammoth bones along the banks of the Silac River when they came across the dog's remains. Fortunately, they had the foresight to get in touch with researchers at the Northeastern Federal University in Yakima, the regional capital. Researchers estimated that the female puppy Tomsky and the Gora calves found was approximately 3 months old at the time of its death. The three mammoth tusk hunters had found the oldest dog that had ever been mummified, which was amazing. It would appear that older dog remains have previously surfaced, but never in such excellent condition. Dr. Miet Jamalper, a paleontologist at the Royal Belgian Institute of Natural Sciences, visited Jackets in 2014 to examine the puppy's remains for herself. In a 2015 interview with the Siberian Times, she stated, "I can say this find is unique after studying the mummy and looking at the measurements of the skulls of ancient dogs and wolves." Jamalper continued, "Wow, in different galleries all over the planet, you will just track down the remaining parts of grown-up canines. However, this is a little dog. In addition, it is the most ancient dog discovered in northern Siberia at the moment, and all external signs and scan results indicate this." Your mother explained that the oldest dog remains, 36,500 years old, were discovered in the Belgian Goya caves. There are numerous finds from approximately 26,000 years ago, but they are not as well preserved. Here we see the skin, and alone even the inside organs may do. Jormamper went on to offer two different hypotheses regarding the development of the human-dog relationship. She read the Siberian Times after that. The first idea is that dogs came close to places where people lived, ate what they found, and eventually they lived together. And decomposition, which is how biological material typically breaks down. In addition, Fedorov was clearly eager to return to the Silac River, where the first puppy had been discovered years earlier, in June 2015. He stated that nearby the location where the dog was discovered Locals frequently discover objects that clearly belong to ancient humans, such as bone arrowheads and stone tools. Together with the archaeologists, we intend to visit the site this summer in search of human remains and possibly the dog's owners. In the summer of 2015, when Fedorov and his colleagues went back to the location, they discovered evidence of human settlement. The team discovered a number of fascinating things, as we can see. In addition to finding evidence of fire animal remains that had been killed with human hands and tools, they also made an extraordinary discovery. A second embalmed little dog was tracked down only 6 feet or so from the 2011 one. The Siberian Times interviewed me. The animal that they found was described by Fedorov. He stated, "Our new find is in perfect condition. It is safeguarded from nose to tail, including the hair. You can see the hair on the shaft on the image." The characteristics of the permafrost were the reason for this remarkable level of preservation, and a body that was 14,300 years old. The find of the new remaining parts was nothing but karma. "We had no idea we would receive it," Fedorov continued. "After working there for an entire hour, we noticed the front of the head paused 2 meters from the first find and down the rock at the beginning of the second hour. The muddy bank had changed since their previous visit 4 years ago," Fedorov continued. "The second to middle puppy was found almost exactly where the first one was due to the bank's movement. The fact that the 2 puppy bodies are so close together could mean that they were related or even from the same litter. However, a crucial question remained. Were these the remains of young wolves or dogs that humans had domesticated? The 2011 to mid-puppy's initial DNA tests had indicated that it was probably a dog rather than a wolf. However, those findings were not without some skepticism. Due to the similar genetic makeup of domesticated dogs and wolves, it is difficult to provide a complete answer. As a result, the researcher intended to pay closer attention to the 2 mummified puppies. In March 2016, the findings of the in-depth autopsy on the 2 middle puppies were made public. What's more, the subsequent doggy ended up being particularly fascinating. It had a one-of-a-kind brain that was well preserved. The scientist washing the body gently to remove some of the mud and debris is shown in a video of the autopsy. Before beginning to wash the puppy, the scientists begin the video by carefully collecting some of the material that interests them. The rather lumpy cat on the left already has recognizable features, like the small tail and paws, and you can almost make out the animal's head. Following the washing of the carcass, when one of the scientists pulls back the puppy's lips, we can clearly see its teeth, which are clearly canine in nature. After the body has been cleaned, the shape of the paws can also be clearly seen. All of those things were still important, and the animals are also recognizable. The carcass is extremely well preserved, according to the scientist we met earlier, Sergei Fedorov, who told the Siberian Times. Additionally, the preservation of the brain is one of the most crucial aspects. The level of preservation is between 70 and 80%. After it is extracted, we will be able to say more precisely, but for the time being, we can see it on MRI scans. Fedorov carried on. It has, of course, dried out a little, but the parent cerebellum and pituitary gland are still visible. This is the first time the brain of a canid from the Pleistocene has been found. While the term canid refers to the group of animals that includes wolves, coyotes, and other animals, the parents, cephalon, and cerebellum are components of the brain. As a result, some of the ancient extinct animals, such as dogs, deer, bison, and tigers, have all vanished. However, as far as we are aware, none of Wang's dreams have come true. Naturally, neither ancient puppies nor resurrected woolly mammals are currently roaming the Siberian steppe. Dr. Artemy Goncharov, head of research at St. Petersburg Northwestern State Medical University, Department of Epidemiology Parasitology, and is in phenology, told the Siberian Times that we took samples of the ground that surrounded the carcass to find out the bacteria there. However, scientists had more realistic hopes of gaining knowledge from both the puppy's body and the dirt it was in. We hope to find ancient bacteria among them when we compare them to the bacteria from the puppy's intestines later. Goncharov continued, we hoped to find the parasites that were characteristic for this exact species. In addition, we took samples to find the parasites, ticks, and fleas. Additionally, Rob's work has resulted in a significant scientific advance regarding the tomb, despite the fact that the puppy is not actually derived from ganja. In July 2019, scientists announced a breakthrough in their research on the second to middle puppy. They had successfully extracted the genetic material known as RNA from the tissues of the animals. In contrast to the more well-known DNA, ribonucleic acid, RNA, serves a different function in a living organism, which we will discuss in a moment. Dr. Oliver Smith of the University of Copenhagen was in charge of the group that made the new discovery of RNA that they were able to sequence. This had never been done before from such an ancient animal, which is amazing. According to the Jurek Allard website, RNA is a temporary working copy of a gene, whereas DNA is the permanent record of the genetic material in living things. DNA can be preserved for a long time, but RNA is much less stable and susceptible to deterioration much more quickly. Therefore, scientists had previously hypothesized that it was either extremely unlikely or impossible to sequence ancient RNA from archaeological finds. However, Smith and his team had accomplished this by extracting the material from the liver of the puppy. Although RNA has been extracted from ancient plant samples on occasion, it has never been sequenced from animal remains nearly as old as the tumut puppy. At 14,300 years of age, these remaining parts are nearly 13,000 years more established than any creature that has recently yielded a reasonable RNA test. In addition, RNA serves as an intermediary between DNA and proteins in living things, according to Smith. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.